Hello, students. I hope that you are listening to sound through the music. I hope you need music. Maybe on it, if the music is different enough. But um, let me know if you can get us on and it's working. If not, we can just look and sit through the music. I am going to roll this song for you. Hopefully you can hear it. I'm going to play for about 30 more seconds. Hopefully some people join us. If you see you are enjoying this, you're watching this afterwards on YouTube or on something that the digital learning team sends out. So hopefully you'll be enjoying this. All right. Ah, there's our song, man. We just ended right on our song. So we are going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to switch over to just presenting my presentation for you guys. Be close up to my face there for a second. Okay. Hi. Welcome to our webinar called Yakity Yak. Please talk back. Just go ahead and adjust your sound if you haven't yet so that you can hear me. And we're going to get started. All right. Just a little bit about me. I am Whitney Sanchez. I am an 8th grade science teacher at Brandenburg Middle School, or the Classical Center at Brandenburg Middle School. And I'm also the I3 member for our campus. I'm a digital leadership team member, which is great. I love that. And I'm also Google certified level 1 and currently working on my level 2 certification as well. If you would like to follow me, I'm not on all the socials, but I am on Twitter. You can find me at Sanchez. Gotta rep that science life. So you can go ahead and follow me at that handle. All right. So today, if you would like access to these slides, you can find access to these slides at bit.ly/i3 Yakity Yak. Make sure that you capitalize the Y's in that, or else it will not work for you. So capitalization does matter. And this bit.ly will be on every slide. So hopefully you can type that in, get access to these slides. But I'm going to go ahead and move on because it will be on every slide moving forward. And we have a lot to cover today. I'm excited. Okay, so you may have decided to come to this webinar because you saw the description of the webinar, and if you saw that, then you know that a problem that is facing us right now as teachers is that we know that students learn best when they're able to verbally communicate. And we also know that assessing students using verbal responses plays into best practices and prepares students for tests like TELPAS. And we want to be able to do that. So in order to assess and in order to get students best communicating, we want to find ways to digitally get them doing that. So our solution to the problem is to use digital tools to help our students begin talking back to us in the right way. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at 3 digital tools. Hi, Ms. Burkett. Thanks for joining me today. All right, so today our goal is I will be able to utilize digital tools to get my students talking on topic and in the classroom. So we are going to look at these 3 tools today, and we'll learn what each of those images, those icons stand for. All right. So as you're joining, Ms. Burkett, if you want to grab the bit.ly whenever you get a chance, that's going to be at the top of every slide. All right. So the 3 helpful tools we're going to be looking at today are Mote, Flip, and then Adobe Express Animate. So for each tool, we're going to be looking at 3 things. We're going to be looking at getting access to that tool using a click sheet, and you guys will have access to those click sheets after the fact. So if you happen to be driving home listening to this webinar, or if you just don't have full access to your computer at this time, then as long as you have the bit.ly, you'll be able to sign up for those tools and get access to those tools later as well. The second thing we'll be doing is you're going to get a little tour of the teacher side of the tool and hopefully a little glimpse of the student side of the tool as well with me. And then lastly, you'll get access to links you can use in your classroom starting tomorrow. So that's something I'm really big about on my things. I always want to make sure that I allow access to digital tools that you can use in your classroom tomorrow. And so you'll either be getting docs or forms or different things that you can apply in your classroom tomorrow. All right. Ms. Burkett, do you have a question for me?
Yeah, this has changed since the last time I was on it. How do I find the chat where the bit.ly was? And then, of course, I got out and came back in because I hit the wrong button.
Oh, that's great. No worries. So let me share the bit.ly. I didn't actually put it in the chat, but I will type it into the chat right now for you. It is on the top of my slides, you can see, but I will type it as well. Give me 1 second. All right.
Oh, okay. Yes, thank you.
No problem. Okay, so we're going to move on and get started with our first tool, which is Mote. So Mote is an awesome tool. It's a Chrome extension. So it is something that works through your Chrome browser. And so we have to add it to Chrome. So that's what we're going to start with. But it is great for things like docs and forms. It can get kids talking on those 2 things, and you can receive their responses via an audio file. And so we're going to look at that. All right. So if you want to set up Mote on your computer right now, you can take a look at this this link here. So you can see the click hand. So that means go ahead and click on this image. And if you click on that image, you will get a copy of the click sheet to sign up. And you will add it to your Chrome extension. So it'll look just like this. You'll click the bit.ly, and then you'll click Add to Chrome. Once you click Add to Chrome, it should appear on your Chrome browser. So in your extensions tab, and so the bit.ly also the click sheet also talks you through how to pin that Chrome extension so that we can find it easily. But I'm going to change what I'm sharing so you guys can see what it looks like. So if I share, hello, you can see me all up close. That did not do it. Let me try one more time. Okay, so there we go. All right, so now you guys can see the top of my screen up here and my Chrome bar. If you look at my Chrome bar, I have got that Mote icon right here in my extensions. Again, when I want to do that, this is talked through on the quick sheet. But if I want to do that, it looks like it is not showing you guys. It looks like it's going pretty slow, the connection over here. Well, since I can see that my Google Meet is not showing you guys the drop down of the extensions menu, I'm just going to go ahead and say the click sheet does show you how to do that. So my Mote is already pinned, but when I want to look at it, I'm going to click there right there. Okay, so let me, all right. Thank you, Miss Cody. Give me a second. Let me change how I'm sharing here. Okay, so now if I go to the drop down, there we go. Thank you so much for your help, Mrs. Cody. Okay, so all I have to do to pin that extension is hit the little pins here, and you can see the ones that I have pinned to the top are in blue, so I've already clicked that. So that means that those extensions show up on my Chrome bar every time that I open Google Chrome. So now I have Mote here, and when I click on Mote, we'll be able to explore it from the teacher view. So let's take a look at the teacher view. I am already logged in, but if you weren't logged in, it will ask you to make a login, and you guys can go ahead and do that while I'm talking through some of the teacher experience that we get to see here. So Mote here, you can see your most recent Motes, and this would also show to the kids. So for Mote, the teacher experience is not very different from what the kids see. They can see their most recent Motes, they can see their account details, they can enable or turn off the extension. This is all great that they have those options. They also can control some settings, including what their language is for voice to text. So if they wanted to change their language to a different language because that's their home language, they could do that if they wanted to voice to text using a different language. But what's special for teachers is my activity and engagement. So when you click on that, it will show all of the Motes that you have done and what you've done with those Motes. So if you've copied the links, different things like that, it will show that. So I make a Mote really quick. I want to record one. It won't let me record it. Yes, it will. It will let me record. So if I want to record one, I'm going to click this top section up here. It will start recording my voice. I have 5 minutes. That's why it has the 5-minute countdown. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it. And I will hit the check mark if I want to repeat it. It's copied to my clipboard. Now it shows in my recent Motes. And if I go back to my account details, it should show up here as well. So it shows what I did, and I can reshare it from my past Motes. What's great about that is if the kids accidentally copy something else, then they can still go back to their activity and they can find the Mote that they recorded. So that's awesome. And you can do it as a teacher as well. If you're recording something for trying to modify or trying to give that accessibility to your students, then if you forgot that you had it in your clipboard and you copied something else, you can go back here and find it, which is great. Okay, so what you'll notice about Mote is that what it does is it creates a link. And so that can be used in different places, like on Chrome, or on Google Docs and Google Forms. So we're going to do an example form here, But what I've also attached here for you guys is the student click sheet. And so this is the exact same click sheet that I gave to my students when I had them all put Mote on their computers. What's great about Mote is that it's also enabled by technology, so it shouldn't have any issues with adding to your students' Chrome browser. And so they can follow this click sheet. It looks very similar to the teacher one, except for making their account in student form instead of teacher. And so I use that especially for my honors kids who can follow a click sheet and have no problem with putting it on their own computers. All right, so let's do, if we click the left image, we'll do the student view. And if you have the right image, you'll do a teacher view. What I will tell you about the right image is it's just like any other Google form. But now that I have Mote on my computer, when I go to take any Google form, it shows up this Mote icon. So what that means is anytime I want to type an answer or have an extended response, I can do Mote instead. So all I had to do was click the Mote icon. Now I'm recording my answer, and I can say my favorite thing about school is getting to love students. If I'm a kid, I might say my favorite thing about school is lunchtime. Okay. So then I click the check mark to complete, and it already attaches it automatically into the Google Forms. So the kids don't even have to do anything special once they have Mote attached to their computer. You can do the same thing in Google Docs, and because Mote is such a great Chrome extension, it does automatically put that comment or that voice to text into their Google Doc as well. So the purple icon will also just show up in a Google Doc. But now you guys have access to this Google form. So if you want to use that as an SEL bell ringer or something like that, you can use that Google form as long as you make a copy using the right image here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to our next tool. I know it might feel like we're sprinting, but we have 3 tools to get through, and I really want to make sure that we get to talk about all of these amazing tools today. So our next tool we're going to cover is Adobe Express Animate. So Adobe Express Animate is really new. It's still in beta, which means that Adobe Express is still working on what they're going to call it and figuring out all of how they're going to continue to work with it. So it's on the online website for Adobe Express. And this is my favorite of the tools today because it's just so fun. And kids really love it because if you've ever had a kid that doesn't want to show their face, this is the tool for them. And it still gets them talking and responding verbally, which is what we want. So what you can do is you can click this click sheet to get set up for your computer. If you click on the click sheet, it will show you the bit.ly up here at the top. And let me pull over what this will look like once you open it on your screen. So Adobe Animate looks like this. And once you open it up, it'll say Animate from Audio. They're still working with that name. So I just like to call it Adobe Animate. It's nice and simple. Okay. So what's interesting about Adobe Animate is that similar to Mote, all you have for this image or for the interface is that teachers and students have the same access. So in order for your students to turn this in, they'll have to download their video, and we'll talk about that in a second. But what's cool here is they can pick any character. There's so many different options here. This is showing all of the options they have, and I actually think they've added a few characters since the last time that I was on here, which is super cool. So they have some different seasonal characters, which is awesome. All right. They have some anime characters, which I know our kids love, right? Especially in middle school. They even have a claymation character now, okay? You can do a little talking taco. Okay, super cool. But you can also change the background. So if I go here to background, I can pick any of these fun backgrounds. It can go with my character or not, okay? Or what you can do is you can upload an image as the background. You can create that image on slides, whatever is your favorite creation media, right? And then you can give that to your kids, have them download that PNG or that JPEG, upload an image to their background, and then they can be their character talking with whatever background they filled in information with. Maybe they filled in the information and then they downloaded it, or maybe you had a background you wanted to see them talk with. Maybe it's a picture of tectonic plates. That's what we're talking about in class right now. Maybe it's a picture of the the parts of a story. Maybe you have like parts of a story broken down and you want them to talk with that as their background so that it can be in the background and they can be explaining, okay? But you can give them that option, okay? What's also cool is that there's a bunch of different output sizes. And so if you are a really globally connected classroom, maybe you have a Twitter, maybe you have something like that, and you like to share your stuff out to the world, you can pick your media that you like to share out. You can pick something for TikTok, and it will give you the standard size for TikTok video. And that's what it will output after you've recorded your audio. Okay, so we're going to pretend we're recording for TikTok. So I would record my audio. A little countdown, so it gives the kids a second to breathe before they start recording. They record their audio. They can pause or cancel if they make a mistake. And then once it's complete, they'll hit done. It's going to take a second to process their video. It takes a second to think about what you're saying, pay attention to the gestures that might go with your video or your audio, or to go with the audio that you recorded. I apologize. And then they're making that into a video. They're animating that little character to go with whatever you said. So we're going to watch this, even though it's only 5 seconds. So it animates the words from the mouth of that character, and then it also can move the arms, and sometimes for even some of the characters, it will move the hair and different things like that. So if I want to share this, I'll have to download it, and it will download. You guys can see down here, it dropped into my download bar down here. And I would need to have somewhere for the kids to upload that. So if I'm using this, I would use a discussion post on Canvas, or they can even upload an MP4 into an assignment on Canvas if you put the response type as a file upload. Okay, so great way for your kids to get talking and for you to hear what they have to say about a topic. And especially for our kids who struggle to get their thoughts into writing, this could be a great middle step, right, to get to that end goal. Okay, the last thing we're going to look at today is we're going to look at one more tool. We only have a little bit of time, but the great thing, oh, I'm so sorry. I jumped ahead of myself. So before we look at our last tool, I do have this slide on here for you guys to look at later. It's got a bunch of, I told you guys, I promised you about each tool. I was going to give you links that you could use in your classroom tomorrow. This is that slide for Adobe Animate. So we've got some example instructions for Canvas, and then we've got creative challenges from Adobe that you can use in your classroom tomorrow. So super cool. But let's jump to our last tool. So our last tool is Flip. And what I was going to say about this just a second ago was that Flip, we're not going to have enough time to talk about all of it, because Flip is this tool that just keeps on giving. It used to be called Flipgrid, but they have rebranded and now it's called Flip, and they have this new logo. And if you've ever used Flipgrid before, now Flip, it's an online website, and there's just a ton of ways to use this tool. And so we're going to take a quick look at it, and I'm going to give you a click sheet so that you can sign up if you've never used it before. But I'm only going to scratch the surface. What I will give you at the end is a bunch of links to other I3s who have done webinars on Just Flip, blogs that are with Just Flip, and other things that you can use to explore Flip, because it's just awesome. So here's the teacher setup. Again, you can click the link here to get to your click sheet. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and show you some cool things about Flip, even though you might be taking the time to sign up, which is great. I'm going to go ahead and pull Flip over here so that we can take a look at how awesome it is. Okay, so I made an example class. If I wanted to make a group, I would go over here, I would add a group, I could click create. You can also join a group if you're working as a student or if you're trying a sandbox with other teachers, right? But I'm going to click classroom, as most of us would. I pick my age group, and I'm going to pick middle school because that's my sweet spot. Okay, and then I would enter my group name, but I'm not going to create this one right now. I'm going to go back to the one that I have created for us. What's cool about Flip is they already have dropped things in here that I could use in my classroom tomorrow. So all I had to do was create my first group, and I could literally post a weekly check-in for my kids as an SEL bell ringer tomorrow. And it's already there for me. All I have to do is click share here over in the corner and copy this or get the embed code if I want to embed it into Canvas if I'm at that level. And I would give them that link and they could already be responding on Flip tomorrow because Flip gives us these free topics. If I want to add a topic as a teacher, I'm going to go to add and I would type in anything I want here. I can add media. I could even record a video on Flip to introduce them to what I'm looking for or to my topic. And then I would create that topic. So I want to show you a little bit though, really quickly before we run out of time and time for questions. I want to show you what the kids can see if they were to add to this topic. So if I wanted to add to this topic right now, you can see me all nice and close here, okay? So if I wanted to create something without my face, I could create and still record a video, okay? If I wanted to do a video, I can click this, and then this one is just audio, all right? So in the video option, we have so many different backdrops. You can upload one, or you can use all these different backdrops, and they've just expanded so much. And wow, I mean, just the amount of things they have some live backdrops you can do during a video. It's amazing, okay? And if I didn't want to add a backdrop and I don't want to show my face, I can also change the lens. So it's kind of an augmented reality. This is new to Flip. But again, there are so many things we can do. You can add stickers. And I know that there are other teachers who have done this really well and can show you all the depth of Flip. So let's look at where you can find the links to get more information about Flip. So this is, again, in my slides for today, and you can get all the information you could possibly want about Flip here. There's an engagement toolbox pathway from our wonderful digital learning team, and that's a 1-hour course, and you can get CTE credit for it, and you can learn all about Flip. On there, it's still called Flipgrid, but it works the same as our current Flip. Okay, then there's recorded webinars. These are on YouTube. They're just like this webinar, but they're all these ones. If you look for Flip in the title of the video, it will be all about Flip and no other tools. Then there are blogs about Flip. So if you prefer to read instead of watch a webinar, you can do it that way. Okay, and then on the Flip website, here are the things you can use in your classroom tomorrow. There's a page called Educator Inspiration. And if you click this link, all you have to do is pick your content area, and you can find already made plans or topics for your created group on Flip and use that in your content area tomorrow in your class. And then I also have created student directions for Flip. And so if you click this link, then the student directions, it'll make you make a copy. And the student directions look like this. And this is what I would post, either a screenshot of this or this exact embedded into my Canvas so that the kids know how to record on Flip. So I want to give you guys a chance to 1, give feedback, and 2, ask me questions. So if you have any questions about the 3 tools we've covered today, Mote, Adobe Animate, and Flip, please let me know. Again, I am not an expert on all things Flip, so I would highly suggest you go to those links to get answers to Flip, but I can answer quite a few questions on Adobe Animate and Mote if you have any questions for me. Otherwise, you guys can use your last minute or 2 minutes to go ahead and fill out my feedback, and I would love to hear about what you thought about this today. So I'll wait to see any questions, and hopefully you can fill out my feedback. As soon as you fill out the feedback, and if you don't have any questions, you're welcome to step out. I hope you guys have a great night. I know we worked really fast and got through all 3 topics, but hopefully you can revisit these slides later and get some more depth if that's what you're looking for. Also, if you're a Brandenburg person, come back, see me, and come talk to me in person, email me. You know, I'm always here to help. All right. Well, since I worked all the way up to the time, I'm going to give you about 1 more minute to fill out that feedback if you still need the link. And then I will be closing us down. Thank you guys so much for coming today. I'm really glad that you could join me, and hopefully you learned something.